Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Above the Rim Rundown, where we run down all things NBA. I am one of your hosts, Memo, and right beside me, I've got Hoops. How you doing?
What's going on, man? Overall, I've been doing good. Just getting through. And it's been, as you know, a pretty crazy few days in the NBA world. How have you been doing?
Good. A little overwhelmed with all these trades. Dude. I feel insane. Like just going through it. For context, it is the night of, or I guess the night after the trade deadline. So a lot of these like trades are like really fresh. Have not really processed everything yet. So just bear with us, I guess, as we try to piece things together. I try to, make a. Well, we have a list of trades we're going to talk about, and I try to, kind of put the ones that are like related to each other with each other. Bear with us, because we got a lot to talk about, and again, it's fresh, so we've got not fully fledged out thoughts, but we'll try our best to give our thoughts. Other than that, though, with like me, I am very relieved at the moment. There was this like exam thing that I had to take for like the state of California for what I'm doing. Like I'm in my master's program, so like this is part of the programs to take this exam, and luckily I passed it. I was so scared that I was not gonna pass it, but luckily I did. So I'm very relieved, and I'm just like one step closer to my goal. So I'm very happy about that.
Good job.
Thank you, thank you. So yeah, because of that, I'm feeling very good. I am in a really good mood. Hopefully, going through all these trades does not change that. I remember last year when we went over the trade deadline. I remember being excited to talk about it because last year was insane. It was like the craziest trade deadline of all time. But I remember like midway through the recording, I like wanted to die because it was so much to go through, and I had no thoughts about certain ones. And like I'm hoping we don't have to suffer this time. So uh
Yeah.
yeah, I guess we could get started. And a team that I want to focus on is the Cavs because they made a lot of moves. Obviously, the big one being the James Harden move. We'll talk about that soon. But before they did that, they traded to add Dennis Schroeder and Keon Ellis and Emmanuel Miller from the Bulls. So Keon Ellis and Dennis Schroeder are from the Kings. Cleveland received those three players. Chicago received Dario Saric from the Kings, a second round pick, two second round picks from the Kings, and then the Kings received DeAndre Hunter. I think this is a good move for the Cavs, just adding some bench depth. I think Keon Ellis is a great player, a very versatile defender. And Schroeder not having the best season with the Kings, but he's proven that he could be a solid backup point guard. So hopefully he could add some depth to the guard position, especially now that they're adding James Harden. I think this was a pretty good move on the Cavs' part. Very confusing on why the Kings wanted DeAndre Hunter. Then Keon Ellis is such a great player that the fact that they didn't get like a young player in return or like a first round pick maybe is a little surprising. And they ended up just getting DeAndre Hunter, who's very inconsistent. Um, and then for the Bulls side, this was mainly for the picks. I think they might be going towards a tank direction with all the moves they made. They made a lot of interesting odd moves, but like some like money saving moves as well. But yeah, what are your thoughts on this first trade from the Cavs and them adding these players and what like the Bulls and Kings did as well?
Basically, great move by the Cavs for sure. I mean, major upgrade. Get rid of an inconsistent player who has his moments, but as you mentioned, very inconsistent, too up and down. In exchange, to get a very good young player in Keon Ellis. They get an established veteran, Dennis Schroeder, and they did not really need to give up too much either. So, yeah, great move for the Cavs. For the Bulls, also a good move because getting up some picks by getting involved. And Kings, I agree with you, very confusing. Not necessarily the idea of like getting rid of the two guys, more so about not getting like either a younger player or a pick back. So yeah, I would say overall, great for the Cavs, good for the Bulls, bad for the Kings.
All right, so the Cavs also traded away two-time All-Star Darius Garland for the veteran former MVP James Harden. This is very interesting since Darius Garland is 10 years younger than Harden. However, Harden is a lot more available than Garland. So I feel like this is more of a win now move for the Cavs, where they're trying to make Donovan Mitchell happy, trying to make sure that they can finally find some success in the playoffs. So that is honestly a little ironic since they added James Harden in hopes to have success in the playoffs. That that's like an oxymoron. Moron. Like you don't succeed in the playoffs with James Harden, but you know, av- availability is very important as well. Like Darius Garland, what has he done in the playoffs? Nothing because he's been injured, so it's not entirely his fault. But like at the same time, like there's only so much the Cavs could do with an injured point guard. So I think this is a decent move, a move that is worth the gamble, I guess. But, as always, James Harden always finds a way to get himself traded. So it wouldn't be a surprise if he end things in a negative note with the Cavs either. Like, James Harden wanted to leave the Clippers due to money or like contract issues. He didn't feel like he was getting paid enough, so he ended up asking for a trade. I think there was reports where he said he didn't, but we all know he did.
That's total BS.
It's BS. Uh, so yeah, a lot could go wrong with the Cavs. That's basically what I'm trying to say. James Harden might like flop in the playoffs and choke, and uh, it'll be another year where Donovan Mitchell tries his best to carry, but ends up not making it to the conference finals once again. James Harden could be pissed off and would ask for another trade so he could go to another team to see if he could win somewhere else. A lot could go wrong, but it is a gamble worth going for since Garland is injured all the time. So yeah. Also, I forgot to mention. The Clippers ended up receiving a future second round pick, as with Garland. So, they had to ship Garland off with a pick, which I found kind of interesting. But yeah, what are your thoughts on this trade?
Yeah, I think for sure it's a gamble. Honestly, I think it's a gamble for both sides because starting with the Cavs perspective, as mentioned, like this is for sure a win now move. The irony of saying getting James Harden in hopes of getting further into playoffs is very laughable because that just doesn't happen. Um, However, to be fair, the Cavs already did not wouldn't make it far anyways, was what they had. So at this point, it's like you already didn't go far. I guess nothing can hurt you any further than that. So even if you have this choke artist on your team, maybe you can somehow get lucky. because like if you already didn't get past the first round, or you only got to the second round, for example. Okay, that's what it was. Okay. They only got to the second round, couldn't get to the conference finals with Garland. Made I feel like they kind of have to get back to at least the second round anyway this season. So I see it as like if they go down like even worse than what they were before, then that's a massive failure. If they at least like match that, then I see no difference. The Clippers perspective, it's also a gamble because of the reasons you mentioned. Garland is injured a lot. He's not always available. Um, Long term, if he is able to stay healthy, he is able to play like the two-time All-Star he is. This might be a sneaky good ad. I mean, also they got a second round pick after making those trades, like the Paul George trade, the and some of those other trades that the Clippers made recent years. They did not have a lot of draft picks. Any draft pick they get back now is huge. So yeah, I think it's definitely a gamble, but for both sides. Overall, I would say it was a risk that was needed to be made. More so for the Clippers and the Cavs, I think. But I think that the fact that they did give up a second round pick for Harden, I guess like definitely also shocked me a little bit. So if I were to say like how this trade was assessed for both sides, um I'm in the boat of hard to say at the moment, but I guess I'll say fine for both of them. Yeah, I don't know. It's hard to assess at the moment. I guess I'll just say good for both of them for moving on from the two guys.
Yeah, I guess I
But
agree.
yeah, but Harden trying to claim that he didn't ask for a trade is total BS.
That's
So we all
crazy.
know he did.
That's what you do. He once put
Yeah,
a fat suit on to get traded from the Rockets. Like,
yeah,
you're
that
not,
was the
you're not slide dog. Like, come on.
yeah the biggest of clown moves right there. Like putting on a fat suit. Who the hell does that?
But yeah, I actually didn't really talk about the Clippers side of things. Uh, this is interesting. At first, I was like, all right, you know what? They're trying to get younger. Maybe they'll start trying to be a little more serious. Maybe try to win with Darius Garland as the number two guy by Kawhi. But with this next trade, it's making me kind of think that they might not be trying to win anymore because they traded away Ivica Zubac to the Pacers in order to get Benedict Mathurin, Isaiah Jackson, 2 first-round picks. That's huge, and 1 second-round pick for again the Clippers. Zubac and Kobe Brown. Kobe Brown is going to be a Pacer as well. So this is an amazing move for the Pacers. Uh, they needed a center after Miles Turner left, and now that they got like one of the best centers in the game, um, and he's gonna be right beside Halliburton next year, which I think is gonna work out so well. We know that James Harden and Zubac did amazing together, as Harden being like an incredible ball handler. Halliburton's a better ball handler. He is amazing at getting buckets for his teammates. So I think Zubats will have a lot of success with the Pacers. I think the Pacers are gonna love him over there. I got like zero thoughts on Kobe Brown, but shout out to Kobe. For the Clippers side of things, it's huge. They got 2 first-round picks. That's amazing for Zubats. That's solid. This is kind of making me feel like they are starting to go on, a tanking direction. Even though they got a good player back as well. Benedict Mathurin, when healthy, when you know at his best, he could be a bucket. So yeah, I am very like intrigued by the moves that the Clippers are making. Like they got solid guys, Darius Garland, Benedict Mathurin in the mix, but they got rid of their starting center, who is like such a valuable piece, and they received 2 first round picks, which kind of makes you think that they might be going in a tanking direction. But what do you think? Do you think the Clippers are trying to take down now that the James Harden trade went down?
I mean, it sure sounds like it, doesn't it? But I honestly think that this is one of the win-win trades for both sides because Pacers, as you mentioned, get a very great center on their team. Next year, when Tyrese returns, I can only imagine him and Zubats and Tyrese are going to be a force to be reckoned with, and it's going to be fun to see the Pacers once again in contention. Um, Clippers, obviously, clearly, they were not going to go anywhere. I mean, we all know that they're always a really good regular season team and choke in the playoffs. This year, they couldn't even get quite. I mean, like they had been turning it around, but then it's like as soon as they do, now they do this. So probably they're gonna start losing again. We'll see. Point blank though, I think that Clippers making this trade is for sure good though, because like lacking all that draft capital, they were able to get 2 first round picks in this trade. So I would say pretty good haul for Zubats, honestly. And yeah, I guess the question for the Pacers is as good of a player as Zubats is, did they perhaps give up a little too much? That's one thing I'm kind of
Hmm,
questioning because like 2 first round picks is a lot.
it
And
is.
as you mentioned, Benedict Mathurin is also a really damn good player. So, and he was a 1st round pick too, I believe. So they basically gave up 3 first round picks for Zubats. So they did give up a lot, but only time will tell. On paper, I think a very good move for both teams.
Yeah, I feel like this was a good move for the Pacers and a move that they needed to do,
Yeah,
honestly. So, yeah, maybe it was a lot, but Zubats is going to be the best center Halliburton has ever played with. Um, Mathurin has had injury problems in the past, so and they were still able to win a lot of games without Mathurin, find success in the playoffs without Mathurin. And again, he could be inconsistent too. So I feel like even though maybe the 2 picks was a lot, this was a move that was needed to be done in hopes that they could go back to the finals next year, which we'll see. I guess that at the moment the East is wide open, but the Celtics are gonna come back stronger. I'm sure there will be some crazy moves in the off season, but yeah, I think I agree with you. I think this was a win-win situation for both teams. Um,
definitely.
this next situation is not much of a win for this certain player, and I'm talking about Chris Paul. Dude, the worst farewell tour of all time goes to Chris Paul, which is so sad because after being told by the Clippers organization to like settle down and stay home, they traded him to the Raptors. So the Raptors are receiving the Chris Paul. The Nets are also involved. They are getting Oche Ajabi uh, from the Raptors, a second-round pick from the Raptors, and the Clippers receive uh, Vanja Markovic from Brooklyn. So not much thoughts under other than like I feel bad for Chris Paul. He's being deported. They're shipping him out of the country because he's so damn annoying. That's so sad. And I think the Raptors don't even want him. I think they're planning on waiving him or something. That's what I heard. I don't know if it's confirmed or anything, but like clearly the Raptors don't really need him. Like no team really needs Chris Paul at the moment. So yeah, we had to break this up because like Damn, that's actually this is actually like so depressing, but low key funny.
Yeah, it is. Now I'm gonna be honest. When the Clippers announced that they sent Chris Paul home, honestly, like it was just really confusing because I honestly thought that they waived him.
I did too. I
But
literally
he
did.
was still on their roster apparently. I was like, what the fuck,
I didn't know he
bro?
was technically on the team this whole time.
Yeah. So then when I saw that the Clippers got something in return for him, I'm like, what the hell? How? But honestly, they really didn't get shit because draft rights. You know what that means? That
Oh,
means
I
that
didn't
that
even read
player
that correctly. My bad. Yeah, it's draft rates.
that means that he might not even end up playing in the NBA. All it means is that if he chooses to play in the NBA, the Clippers will have his rights, meaning that he will sign with the Clippers because they technically have him.
Yeah,
But like
this move was just
I
made
would
so that Chris Paul can leave the Clippers. That's it.
Yep. Yep. So like one, I would be shocked if this guy actually does go to the NBA. And two, I have no idea who the hell he is. Is he even good? I don't know. Um, but like funny enough, the only team that actually gained something here really is the Nets. They were able to get a decent player and they were able to get a second rounder. Raptors are probably, as you mentioned, just gonna waive Chris Paul. And the Clippers just did a thing so they could get rid of him instead of just personally waiving him. I don't know why they didn't do that. Maybe it was like too much dead space. I don't know, but very confusing to say the least. Basically, it's almost like as if Raptors and Clippers said, this trade isn't really going to do anything for us, but I guess we'll just give a free donation to the Nets out of a good deed.
It
That's
just
what this
felt
is
bad for
giving,
them.
honestly. Yeah, but yeah, I say Nets are somehow winning this trade by giving up practically nothing.
Yeah, true. All
Yep.
right, let's move on. Let's talk about the Bulls because the Bulls made so many trades, and it's like kind of weird too because it seemed like they were only looking for guards. They have like
Yeah.
82 guards on the roster right now. It's crazy. So the first big move, like this is one of the biggest moves of this trade deadline. The Bulls shipped out Nikola Vucevic to the Celtics. The Celtics receive a second round pick, while Chicago receives Anthony Simons and a future second round pick. Uh, clearly Vucevic is like a decent player, but hasn't really done much with Chicago, and there was no way that they want to continue paying for him. So I guess the Celtics took him in. It hopes to help stretch the floor even more, since that's what they do. They like to shoot threes. They also like to play defense. I don't know if Vucci can do that, but we'll see. And then Chicago has Anthony Simons. I don't really know what they're gonna do with Anthony Simons because again they have a bunch of guards. They have Josh Giddey. They traded for a bunch of other guards. So yeah, don't know what they're doing other than possibly just trying to tank. I think that's the ultimate goal for Chicago at the moment. Uh, which is good because they've always been in the play-in, but they need to like get out and tank and rebuild, and they've been slowly doing that. They got rid of DeRozan, Levine, now Nikola Vucevic, so I think they're they're locking in. But yeah, what are your thoughts on this?
So my initial thoughts on this was honestly confusion because like the Bulls basically just did a straight up Vucevic for Anthony Simons trade. And what you mentioned is true. Like Vucevic hasn't really done doing like a whole lot for the Bulls, but overall, I think he's still been like pretty good throughout these years here. And so they basically just gifted him to the Celtics for like basically nothing, which I feel like they could have done better. Like maybe get an extra pick. So I guess what I was really confused on is why did they give up a second round pick in addition to the second round pick that they received? I feel like if anything, the Bulls shouldn't have had to give up a second round pick. So my end summary is I think that this was a sneaky good move for the Celtics, who were clearly in need of a center upgrade. And for the Bulls, it was good in the sense of like heading in the rebuild direction, but it was bad in the sense that they could have gotten more in return. That would be my assessment.
Okay, well, I feel like again, like I don't think Vucevic is that like impressive or like game changing, and definitely like not worth his contract. So I think that's why a pick was included at the end of the day. Um, but yeah, we'll see how he fits over there because again, it's the lack of defense that might mess things up over there with the Celtics.
Well,
Uh,
I'll certainly hope so.
that's true. The
Yeah.
Celtics did make a smaller move as well. We could just throw in there. They traded away Xavier Tillman to the Hornets and received cash consideration. Don't really have much to say here though.
Yeah.
It's
Basically, it was just a counter move.
money,
We
money,
got a
money.
center upgrade. Now we will get rid of a center.
Yep.
Um, Now, okay, quickly circling back to Vucevic. Apparently, I heard that I thought this was pretty crazy. I think I heard that apparently the Cavs offered Jared Allen to the Bulls for Nikola Vucevic, but the Bulls declined it.
That's
I'm like,
crazy.
what? Why would you decline it?
That's
And
crazy.
then because like they could have gotten a much better player in return. So it's like
Yeah.
basically they said we're not gonna help you guys. You're our rivals, but we're gonna help a different rival because Celtics are also rivals with the Bulls. So like, what are they doing? I don't know.
That would have been such a
Uh,
great move for the Cavs. I like that more for the Cavs because,
yeah.
like, although the defensively Vucci is not that great, Evan Mobley is
Mhm.
great. Like Evan Mobley could
Yep.
help cover what Vucevic lacks, and then Vuc can spread the floor, which will
Yep.
help out a lot. So that would have been great for them. And then Jared
I
Allen
agree.
for the Bulls, I would just feel bad for Jared Allen honestly because like there's
Yeah.
no direction
Same.
there for the Bulls, but he's
True.
definitely
Now,
like an impactful, helpful player.
definitely. Now, knowing this rumor that could have happened, do you think that the Cows would have been better if they traded for Vucevic, or you think they're probably best off just staying put at the center position?
I think they would have been better because
I think so too.
like they've been trying with the Jared Allen Mobley situation and it hasn't been working out entirely well.
Yeah,
That's why I think having a totally different type of center might help, might improve things, but it's not a guarantee. It's not. Um,
yeah, that's true. But yeah, I basically just wanted to bring up that one thing that I thought was interesting to hear. Um, but I guess we can now circle back to more Bulls talk because, as mentioned, they made a lot of trades. And this one will be the Kobe White um, sell off, if that's what you want to call it, or ship off. That's a better term. Um, Basically, in this trade, Bulls traded Kobe White to the Hornets. Um, Full trade details: Hornets received Kobe White, Mike Conley, and a future second round pick from OKC. Bulls received Colin Sexton, Ousmane Dieng, and three future second round picks, all from the Hornets. And OKC was the third team. They received Mason Plumlee.
and I guess for more context, uh, the reason why Mike Conley was with the Bulls is because of a different trade made, where the Bulls, Wolves, and
Yeah.
Pistons had a three-team trade. Minnesota and Detroit have agreed to a multi-team deal that sends Jaden Ivey and Mike Conley Jr. to the Bulls, and Kevin Herter and Dario Saric to the Pistons. Sources tell ESPN Detroit. Also, something. Also receives a 2026 first round protected swap from Minnesota. So yeah, it's a lot. It is, but essentially the Bulls have
Yes.
Jaden Ivey now. They had Conley, got rid of Conley in order to get, guess what, another guard, Colin Sexton, uh, Usman Dieng. Okay, okay. It's like, what are the Bulls doing? They just uh signed like, what's his name? The short Japanese guy, like to a 2-way deal.
Oh, it wasn't like Yuki something, I think.
Yuki something. I think I saw
Yeah.
today they also like did a deal with Mac McClung. What's
I did
going
not
on?
I actually didn't see that one. They
Like,
have way too many guards.
maybe I got said telled, but like, what's going on? Like, is this the strat on like the best way to tank? Just get
I don't
only guards
maybe. I don't even know like are they over the roster limit? Do they need to cut some players? I don't know.
at this
I
point. I
mean,
don't
that
know
is a
who's
lot.
on the roster. I'm looking it up right now.
I don't know who are all the players. I do know that buyout market for sure will have some like candidates for like contending teams to look at. Like I guess I'll just briefly mention it in the meantime. Not trade talk anymore, but like I guess player waivings. Um so the Nets they waived Cam Thomas. So he'll definitely be a name that a lot of contenders will be looking for. Um, Mike Conley is most likely going to get waived from the Hornets, I think. Um, we'll see. Um, I think if he was on the Bulls, he was for sure going to get waived. On the Hornets, probably still, but I'm not 100% sure. Speaking of which, Hornets have been like sneakily still. I think they're on an 8 game
Eight
win streak
games,
now. That's
yeah.
crazy. Yeah. Because like earlier in the year when they were losing, they probably were on an 8 game losing streak. I mean, I don't know what it was, but like I wouldn't be shocked. But yeah, that team has been looking sneaky good lately.
How it's currently
So
constructed, the Bulls have 8 guards on the lineup.
eight.
Yeah, they almost
Okay,
have two starting
so
rosters with guards. They have Rob
okay,
Dillingham, Jaden Ivey,
yeah.
Trey Jones, Yuki Kawamura, Mac McClung, so that wasn't fake news, that was real. Colin Sexton, Anthony Simons. And, maybe some of these players get waived. I'm not sure if Yuki and Mac is going to stay the whole season. But, at the moment, they got 8 guards and 2 centers, only 2 centers, with Nick
Yeah,
Richards being the best out of the two. Uh,
yeah.
and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Actually, they got 8 forwards. Interesting. Okay.
Eight. That okay. Now I will say, when you mentioned 8 guards, in the beginning I was thinking like, oh, is it a mix like half point guards, half shooting guards? But like it seemed like most of those guys' primary position is point guard.
Yeah.
So they're gonna be playing like a lot of small ball, I think. And
They will.
hey, it seems like clearly they want to tank. So if so, mission successful there. The only question I have is why did they not do this years prior? I feel like Bulls needed to tank like many years ago,
Yeah,
and they just refused for
they
some
really
reason.
did. Like, I know you mentioned how, like, you were confused why Vucevic was traded with a pick. Like, the fact that they didn't receive any picks from the Vucevic trade, from, like, the Levine
Yep.
trade, from the DeRozan trade, that's sad. Like, what are we
It is. Yeah.
doing? Uh,
Yeah.
so, yeah, that's crazy. I don't know what else to say. Other than this, I heard rumors that Yuki at 5'7" is gonna be their starting center, because he already averages more rebounds than Jaren Jackson Jr. Ayo, let's talk about Jaren Jackson Jr.
Hey, that would be so funny if he was a center.
He won a jump ball the other day. It was pretty funny.
Oh
Um,
shit.
but yeah, Jaren Jackson Jr. got traded as well. Uh, he is being sent to the Jazz in a 7-player deal. That's crazy. So the Memphis Grizzlies are trading star forward Jaren Jackson Jr., John Conchar, Jock Landale, and Vince Williams Jr. to the Utah Jazz for Walter Clayton Jr., Kyle Anderson, Taylor Jenkins, George Niang, and 3 future first round picks. So obviously, the Grizzlies are now going into tanking mode. This move was mostly for those 3 picks. Having players like Walter Clayton and Taylor Hendricks, sorry, some young prospects is a good add-on as well. And then the Jazz, I guess they're committing to, you know, what they have at the moment with Lauri Markkanen, Keontae George. Those 2 players are great offensively, not so much on the defensive end. That's where Jaren Jackson Jr. can come through and help out. And once what's his name, Walker or Walter Kessler? What the hell's his name?
Walker Kessler.
Walker Kessler. Thank you. Once he comes in, that's gonna help the defense as well. Not so much the spacing, but the defense will be good. So they're gonna have some like a pretty big lineup, and a good balance between explosive like scoring players and some defensive bigs. So honestly, this low key win-win situation. What do you think?
I agree. Now, I will say I was very like shocked when I saw that Jaren Jackson Jr. was traded to the Jazz, like a tanking team. Cause like I would have thought maybe he would be traded to like a good team, like a team that would actually like more so need his services. Um, the Jazz, like maybe they can make a sneaky run to potentially be like play in, maybe even low playoff seed team next year. It might be a long shot. I feel like they might need a few more years, but like this actually puts them like in the conversation, low key. Um, versus you know, they were probably gonna go like full rebuild direction and try hard to trade Lauri Markkanen. Now maybe they try to keep him. So yeah, I would say definitely sneaky good there for sure. And the fact that the Grizzlies were able to get a few decent players in return, as well as 3 future first round picks, I would have to agree. Win-win for both sides.
Yeah, definitely. I don't feel like this move for the Jazz is gonna make them contenders anytime soon. But I guess their goal is just to be able to be good enough to get into the play-in, which I think Jaren Jackson Jr. could do for you. Like, I'm not the biggest fan of his, so yeah, I don't think he is impactful enough to help carry this team uh, to like any kind of playoff success. Like last year, he got destroyed. Granted, it was against OKC, but like he was a non-factor, and he was the best player on the team. So yeah, I'm not expecting much from him with the Jazz, but it is a interesting move from them, and a move that it's like might as well take because like they haven't had a lot of like draft luck, so might as well trade for some good players instead of hoping to get lucky at the draft. So yeah,
For sure. I'm
I,
not gonna lie, I forgot that the Grizzlies made the playoffs last year.
yep,
I mean,
they
I
did.
guess it makes sense to forget because one, Ja was not playing, two, they got flat out destroyed by OKC.
Oh yeah, It was a
Yeah.
bloodbath. The Jazz made some more trades. Lonzo Ball went to the Jazz. It was a three-team trade where Atlanta got Jock Landale, Jazz got Lonzo Ball, a cash consideration. The Cavs got 2 second-round picks, and I believe I could be wrong. Lonzo ended up getting traded. I'm not traded. Waived. I don't know if you heard that at all.
I'm not sure if the move has been made official yet, but I do know that they announced that the plan was they were going to waive him.
Okay, yeah.
Hmm.
So yeah, I guess this is a money move from the Cavs overall. Like, just clear up the books a little bit. They don't really need. They don't really need Lonzo, especially after adding Harden and Schroeder. So yeah, honestly, that's it for that. So yeah, it looks
Yep.
like he will get waived, and we'll see where he ends up going if he ends up finding a new spot. Which, like, I
Yeah.
guess we'll hope and wait and see. Um, and then a mini one right here for just because we were talking about the Grizzlies. The Sixers traded Eric Gordon to the Grizzlies. Uh, they did that and a 2032 second round pick swap to Memphis. Obviously, this is Sixers trading Eric Gordon and a second round pick to Memphis. Um, this gives the Sixers this flexibility to complete conversion of two-way Dominic Barlow. So that's why they made that trade. And yeah, I guess sticking with the Sixers now. I'll, I'm guessing. I'm guessing you don't have any thoughts on the Eric Gordon trade, do you?
No, not really.
No,
All it
not
is they were able to get rid of a player that really wasn't playing. Uh,
exactly.
Old now, used to be really good. Now
Used
he's just old, and yeah, I think
exactly.
it was a good move to move forward and open a roster spot.
Okay, cool. So
But
let's talk about this other Sixers trade that's a little bit more juicy, which is them trading away Jared McCain to the Thunder. The rich gets richer here, for a 2026 first round pick, which is pretty cool. I'll say for the Sixers, and 3 future second round picks. Uh, I know the Sixers fans are distraught. They're afraid that they just pulled a Kings move where they traded away Halliburton before he became a star, or like a Mavs move where they traded Brunson before he became a star. The Sixers are afraid that they did the same thing with, or Sixers fans are afraid that they did the same thing with Jared McCain, trading him away before he became a star. What are your thoughts on this? Because I was very shocked. Um, I don't know why the Thunder need Jared McCain, but this is obviously like a good move. Just adding another young guard in the mix who has shown flashes of potential. So I understand why the Thunder would do this. And, the first round pick is cool, but like Jared McCain was looking like a great player last year. Could have been rookie of the year if he didn't get injured. So yeah, I just think this is a weird move from the Sixers. What about you?
I agree 1000%. I thought this was a very confusing move to say the least. Like, as you mentioned, he was like very well a potential rookie of the year like runner up candidate before he got injured last year. And just a year later, they just trade him. Why? And like trading him to OKC is like the scary part because like as you mentioned, the rich gets richer. And for the Sixers, like I honestly think that for a player of his caliber with that ceiling, they could have potentially gotten more than what they got. I mean, like, look, first round pick, cool. 2 second round picks, um, I guess it's also good. But I think one of the things you gotta consider is a first round pick from OKC is not gonna be a high one. So you might as well consider that as like practically damn near a second round pick. And then like second round pick, we've seen gems in the second round, of course, but like second round picks are, in my opinion, just like very hit or miss. So like honestly, I'm just very confused why the Sixers made this trade, to be honest. I feel like they could have gotten more in return for a player of that potential. Um, that being said, very sneaky good move by OKC. It is just a shame that they were able to get another crazy good young talent like that.
It's insane how they pull this off, dude. It's it's crazy.
Yeah, because like here's the thing. Even if they don't really need McCain, they could use him as a trade chip to get another like star player if they really wanted.
True. True.
Cuz like that's the scary part. Like
Yeah.
they have so much draft capital, so many good young players. Like now honestly for their situation, I think it would be dumb to like explode the team because like they're so good with that core. Like why break a foundation that's already established? Like we've seen teams in the past like get massively screwed by doing stuff like that. They won a championship, then they blow it up and they never get back. Um so I would say they shouldn't do that. But if they really wanted to pursue like another like star or so, they clearly have the assets. So yeah, it's definitely like scary for OKC one way or another, whether they keep all their pieces and play them all, or if they trade them for potentially another very good one. So yeah, I was definitely very shocked by this trade.
Yeah. I think the whole world was for sure. Let's jump into some Wizard trade talk because, they made some pretty interesting moves. Obviously, starting off with not trying, the successfully trading for Trae Young. They traded for that All Star and they traded for a different All Star, 10-time All Star Anthony Davis from the Dallas Mavericks. So the Wizards received Anthony Davis, Jaden Hardy, D'Angelo Russell, and Dante Exum, while Dallas receives Chris Middleton, AJ Johnson, Malachi Branham, uh, Marvin Bagley III, 2 future first round picks, 3 future second round picks. Um, Interesting move from the Wizards. Like, they're done taking. It has not been working. So this is probably their last year of taking, and hopefully next year with their 2 injured All Stars, back healthy back healthy again, they'll actually make the playoffs for the first time in a long time. They got some decent role players too. Um, Decent role players too. While the Mavs, I guess they're going for a full take. They've got several picks now. They have some washed up players. No offense to Chris Middleton, I loved you, but like I'm not expecting much from him. Uh, I think I think the Mavs are now tanking officially. I think they're realizing their mistakes, realizing that the Anthony Davis Luka Doncic trade is one of the worst trades in basketball history, and now they're gonna try their best to build around Cooper Flag, and start over, have a young roster, and try to work their way up. So yeah, what are your thoughts on this kind of massive trade?
So I was definitely shocked by this move. I didn't expect AD to get traded to the Wizards per se. When hearing rumors about AD possibly being traded, I was thinking maybe like Raptors, Hawks, maybe one of like those type of teams. But when he got traded to the Wizards, I was quite shocked. Um, I see it as if Trae and AD were able to stay healthy, this could be a really fun duo to watch for years to come. Obviously, the concern is can they? Both of these players have been pretty injury prone for the last few years. Obviously, we all know AD unfortunately has a bad rap for always being injured. Trae is less injured than AD usually, but unfortunately still has been getting injured a good amount. So if they are able to stay healthy and stay on the floor, for sure this could be a very fun duo to watch. But if injuries keep piling up and prevent us from seeing the duo together, then it would be, I'm afraid, be one of those massive what if stories. Hopefully, it will not be a what if story and it will instead be a very good, fun duo that we were able to witness and say we were glad to watch them play together. So, yeah, I would say overall, good in the sense that Wizards were able to get Trae his star duo mate, and the Mavs were able to get some more draft capital and basically go in full rebuild mode, get some future young pieces to go alongside Coop. So yeah, I would say good move both sides.
Yeah, I agree for sure. Um, we'll speed run this one because it's like a okay. It's no
It's not
Anthony
crazy.
Davis trade, right? It's like like it really isn't. But we'll speed through this one. So the Magic, they traded Tyus Jones away, so he is going to the Hornets. So is a second round pick from 2027, least favorable of Boston or Orlando, and a 2028 second round pick as well. The Magic receives cash consideration. Wow. Uh, Also, the Hornets end up rerouting Tyus Jones and sending him to the Mavs. So, yeah, Tyus Jones to the Dallas Mavericks for Malachi Branham. Um, yeah, basically these trades exist. So I really don't have much to say. Tyus Jones hasn't really done much as of late. So, like, if that interests you, let us know. Let us know if that's uh, game changing or not. To me, it's like whatever. Any thoughts on that, or should we just jump into the next one?
Um, I guess good for the Mavs for getting good player.
Good,
That's all.
good to the good for the Mavs.
Yeah.
Okay, next we'll talk about some Warriors stuff. This one's smaller, but then we got like kind of a juicier one. So first, the Raptors acquired Trace Jackson Davis. Um, they sent him to the Raptors for a 2026 second round pick via the Lakers. No, okay. There's that. And then the other trade that the Warriors did, they finally, after years, they traded Kaminga to the Hawks for Kristaps Porzingis. Tingus Pingus is now a Warrior. Um, and this is kind of interesting because, the Warriors were, thinking about possibly going for Giannis. That's not going to happen anymore after this trade right here. I forgot to add a key detail. The Hawks are also adding Buddy Hield. So Hawks get Jonathan Kaminga and Buddy Hield, while the Warriors get Porzingis. The old gets older. I guess Kristaps Porzingis isn't that old, but he like it feels old. Like he's always injured and stuff. Uh, I guess on paper, it's a big man that blocks and shoots threes, and they honestly needed a big man because yeah, their big man rotation is very small. They got Draymond as their center, Al Horford, so they needed a big out there. He's just very unreliable due to injuries. So there's that. And I don't know why the Hawks would trade for Kaminga. Like, what's the point? Like, I genuinely don't know what's the point of having Kaminga over there. Like they got so many just like guys, like decent guys that any team would want as like a role player, but like they're playing big minutes. So like Nikhil Alexander Walker, Dyson Daniels, Jaren Jackson Jr., now Kaminga. Like these are just like a bunch of guys coming together to play basketball, and I don't know if that's gonna lead to anything. But do you have high hopes for the Hawks now that they have Kaminga?
Um, absolutely not. No, like I'm so confused why they made this trade, honestly. Um, honestly, for the Warriors, getting Porzingis, I think is a pretty good move. I mean, obviously, like he's injury prone. He's not the same player as he was, like obviously on the Knicks or even the Mavs. Probably not even the same player he was 2 years ago when he was on the Celtics. But overall, I think he's still a pretty good player. He just needs to try to stay healthy. Um, knowing that the Warriors got rid of a guy that they had been trying to for several years now, but couldn't do it successfully until now, I would say they got the higher end of this trade. Like quite honestly, for the Hawks perspective, I almost think that getting Buddy Hield is a bigger W than getting Kuminga.
That's
Um,
crazy. I mean,
like
they're both like
I feel like Kuminga just hasn't really done enough for me to like think that he is like a massive game changer. Like we've seen his potential in the past, but like the Warriors literally did not even want to play him in the playoffs, but yet we're so hesitant to move on. Like it doesn't make sense at all. Like make up your mind. um, but yeah, like as you mentioned, very confusing for the Hawks end. Um, and overall, not a bad return for the Warriors.
yeah, I guess, but honestly, I feel like this is a like it's not a win-win, but it's not like an LL. It's like a mid-mid for both
Yeah,
teams.
I was
Like
thinking the same.
like the Warriors get a injury-prone big man that, when healthy, when at his best, can shoot threes and block shots. The Hawks get like a 20-ish points per game scorer and a 3-point shooter that could be very inconsistent. Both of them. So yeah, it's like so. At least I can understand it from the Warriors side. I can't understand it from the Hawks side. I really can't.
Yeah, I agree. But at least Warriors are able to finally get past the Kaminga drama situation.
But at what
Hawks, on the other
cost?
hand, yeah, I know. It's like that classic Thanos meme. Were you able to get rid of Kaminga? Yes. What did it cost?
Everything.
Everything. Yep, really
That's
accurate.
funny.
But yeah, basically, I don't really see either team getting like that much better from this. Like Warriors right now, they are barely, I believe, the ace seed. I see them probably staying the ace seed, if not slipping, but probably stay just because the teams below them are really not that good. Especially after Clippers got unloaded all those guys.
Yeah,
Trailblazers,
that's crazy.
Trailblazers are too up and down. Yeah, because like honestly, Clippers when they were on that momentum, I was thinking maybe they could have been a team that could have like continued moving up.
Yeah,
But
they
now,
had the
like I don't know.
trajectory, and then James Harden just fucked it all up. He just
I
did not
know.
care.
Like they basically said, yes, we're turning your season around, but we do not want to turn our season around. We would rather help OKC continue to get their high pick.
I forgot about
Like I
that.
get the future part, but like you maybe could have done that like later. I mean, I don't really give a damn for the Clippers, but like,
But now they got
um,
picks. But still, like, Thunder
yeah,
has that
that's
pick.
true. So yeah, um, it's a bunch of different, I guess, a lot to think about for sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's basically been how all this trade deadline is, like a lot to keep track of. And that being said, we still have more trades to talk
We
about.
got more. We're
Um,
like reaching the end of the tunnel. We're starting to get close to the end. We got a couple of
yep.
Knicks trades that we could talk about. Not like huge or anything, but they're trades. The New York Knicks are trading Gershon Yabusele to the Chicago Bulls for uh, Dalen Terry. I don't really know much about him. Uh,
Me neither.
I do like Yabusele. I guess it wasn't working out well with the Knicks, but today he actually debuted for the Bulls. It ended up getting 15 points off the bench. So shout out to Yabusele. And the other move that the Knicks did, I actually really like this move from the Knicks. They added Jose Alvarado from the Pelicans, so they are selling or sending Dalen Terry, who they just got, 2 second-round picks in cash to the Pelicans for Alvarado. I think this is cool for many reasons. One, like that Alvarado has that dog in him, so I think he'll fit very well with that Knicks roster and kind of give them more of an edge. Also, I believe he is from New York too, so there's that connection. So I'm sure he's gonna love playing for New York and is gonna give it his all. So I do like that move from the Knicks. But any thoughts on what they've done?
Yeah, I would say mostly the same as you. The Yabusele trade, I think was more so just fit didn't go as good as they hoped, so they ended up shipping him off. I do think he's a good player. It's unfortunate that it didn't work out with the Knicks, and definitely cool to see he had a nice debut game with the Bulls. And then as far as getting Alvarado, I agree. I think that is a very good ad for the Knicks. I did not know that Jose Alvarado was originally from New York, but that is pretty cool. He gets to go back home and he's definitely gonna love it. And the Knicks are obviously like one of the top teams in the Eastern Conference. This will be very helpful for sure. So yeah, hopefully Alvarado could be potentially the missing piece for the Knicks to get over the hump.
Yeah, hopefully that helps them. We'll see. We'll see. Our Lakers have made a trade. They traded away the legend Gabe Vincent for Luke Kennard. They traded away Gabe Vincent and a 2032 second-round pick for Luke Kennard. Luke Kennard, known as a three-point shooter. I remember, we actually went to this game where the Clippers had Luke Kennard and he couldn't stop making threes and ended up
Bro,
helping the Clippers
um,
beat the Lakers. That's kind of how I remember him. He hasn't been relevant
you know,
as of late, but hopefully he can help the Lakers with the 3-point shooting struggle that they've had.
yeah. You know what's funny? You mentioned that because, like, as soon as this trade happens, that was the first thing that I thought about also. The fact that we were at that game with this damn guy embarrassingly torched us, man. Like, no Kawhi Leonard, no Paul George, nothing. Just a bunch of random bench guys. And Luke Kennard happened to be one of them that ended up, like, embarrassing the Lakers, man. That was very frustrating to watch. Unfortunately, it's very unlikely we get that version of Luke Kennard because he is just not the same player anymore. Um, that being said, I do know that Luke Kennard is for sure a good like catch and shoot 3-point shooters. So hopefully he can help us there. Not the same player as he was before, but yeah, knowing how things didn't pan out with Gabe the way we would have liked, hopefully he could at least be like a better use for us. But I guess we shall find out. I will say if we were to briefly like continue talking about the Lakers per se, I guess one of the slight shocks is after the rumor of moving on from Dalton Connect, it just didn't happen. Um, Gabe Vincent was the guy that they traded. Um, so yeah, I think it's safe to say we wish the Lakers probably could have done a little bit more to try to get better, but I guess there just wasn't really a lot to work with. So I guess now to keep an eye on the buyout market to see if there's any decent players that get released that could potentially fill a need.
Yeah, well, they might have not done much, but at least we're not the Heat. The Heat are the only team that did not make a trade this deadline.
Yeah, that's crazy how like
They were in.
all other 29 teams made a move. When was the last time that happened in the trade deadline that all but one team made a trade? I feel like that's not common. Like,
I actually don't know. Uh, yeah, I'm not sure, but it's crazy because
yeah,
like the Heat were in rumors for Giannis, were in rumors for John Morant, and nothing happened for
yeah,
them.
I know. Though, I will say, as the one saying goes, no trade is better than a bad trade. Um, though realistically speaking, I don't know who they would have actually traded from their team or all
Yeah,
that.
and I
So
heard they were like very picky about like
yeah,
who they wanted to ship off to, like refusing to trade some of their good young players that should be traded for a bigger star, but they said no.
yeah,
Um, but yeah, that yeah,
yeah,
that's
and
I'd be disappointed if I was a Heat fan.
for sure. And I will say, Kerr, I'm not sure if you really know who's gonna be like free agents in 2026, but I think I might have heard like one of the possible reasons why there were so many trades is because the free agency class isn't going to be that strong. I don't know who's going to be free agents, but if that
LeBron.
is the case, yeah. But like aside from him, I don't know. Um, but like basically, if that is the case, that like it's going to be like a very weak free agency class aside from LeBron, obviously. Um, then I guess that explains why there were so many teams trying to make moves at the deadline. But I guess we shall find out when the time gets closer about how strong or weak the free agency class really will be.
Yeah. Um, I'll mention this last trade. I'll just say it, and then we could just end it here. Honestly, but there was a three-team trade. Milwaukee received Nigel Hayes Davis, Sumane Dieng. Phoenix receives Cole Anthony, Amir Coffey. Chicago receives Nick Richards. This exists. I really don't have many thoughts on this. Uh,
Yeah, not much. Just it just sounds like a bunch of teams trying to dump off guys. I guess winners the Suns because they're a team that actually has a winning record and they got a few good players to add to their
yeah, they
roster.
got Cole Anthony. That's
Um,
cool.
yeah, got rid of a center that didn't pan out, Nick Richards. Um, and then Bucks part, I really don't know. Like, so
I don't know
yeah,
either. Um, all right, let's end things off by answering this last question right here. Who do you think, or last two questions, who do you think was the biggest winner from this trade deadline and the biggest loser from this trade deadline?
yeah. So as far as picking one single winner and one single loser, that's kind of hard for me to say like one per se. But I could list like a few winners and a few losers.
All right.
Um, so I think as far as winners go, um, Cavs would for sure be one of them. Like solid adding, Keon Ellis and Dennis Schroeder is also a good death piece. Um, James Harden obviously is a guy who tends to choke in the playoffs, but as a like potential present boost guy, at least for the regular season, to get you hopefully there, um, I would say is not a bad ad. And then aside from that, in addition to the Cavs, I would honestly say that the Wizards ended up being a winner for sure because they got Trae, they got AD, they went from clear bottom dwellers to potentially at least competitive team. So good for them there. Um, Pacers, absolutely a winner. Getting Zubats was a very good move, as we mentioned. Setting up the duo with Tyrese years to come is going to be fun. So yeah, shout out to them for making that move. Um, as far as losers go, though, I really didn't really put in like I didn't really think that any team was like massive losers per se, but I will say some teams that for sure are worthy of potentially being brought up as a loser. I think the Kings are for sure a loser because they were not able to get unload any of those star players. Like um DeMontis Sabonis, DeMar DeRozan, and Zach Levine all are still on the team. For a team that clearly is trying to rebuild, it would have been obviously good if they could have get rid of those guys to get some draft capital or young talent. They were not able to get rid of a single one of them. That I think is worthy of putting the Kings on the L list. Um, if I were to say any like second team to be on the loser list, I would say it would not be like as crazy. I would argue maybe the Hawks potentially because of like as we mentioned the confusion about the Porzingis for Kuminga trade. Obviously, giving up Trae Young. Granted, he requested a trade, but still, like, didn't necessarily get the greatest return for him. So, yeah, I would say basically big loser and a lighter loser there. But yeah, basically those would be my teams that I think were worthy of being brought up as winners and losers. Um, but how about you? Who do you think won and lost the trade deadline?
Yeah, you make a lot of great points. Um, I'm just gonna keep it simple and choose one for each. So my biggest winner, I will go with the Cavs. Although the moves they made were risky, trading their young star Darius Garland for a player that's 10 years older and who's known as a playoff choker. Uh, they're making moves to make Donovan Mitchell happy in order to help him stay and hopefully find some success in the playoffs. So adding Harden and let's not forget adding the Keon Ellis and Dennis Schroeder to the bench lineup is, I believe, a really solid move that could help them when it comes to playoff time. For my biggest loser, I'm gonna go in a very different direction from you, even though you mentioned some great losers. But I'm going with Chris Paul for being so annoying that the Clippers just gave up on him, didn't want him anymore during his farewell tour, and basically got deported to Canada, got shipped to the Raptors, and possibly will get waived. So, yeah, that's my winner. That's my loser. Let us know your winners and losers from this past trade deadline down below. And yeah, I guess we can end it here unless you have any more thoughts.
No, I think we did a pretty good overview of the trade deadline. As mentioned, it definitely was a crazy trade deadline. Last year was very crazy. This year was crazy in a different sense in terms of like the number of trades that were made. So, yeah, like a lot of these trades were not maybe not necessarily as crazy as some of the trades that went down last year, but there were still a good amount of crazy ones for sure. And the fact that 29 out of the 30 teams made a move makes it even more insane. But yeah, Um, Thank you guys for, as always, for watching. Greatly appreciate you guys for the support to our channel. If you guys like our content, make sure to follow us on all platforms. Like, comment, subscribe, share. Um, Make sure to stay tuned because we will continue to put out some great bangers, weekly breakdowns, special edition episodes like this. And yeah, definitely going to be continuing some fun stuff, and you do not want to miss it. Um, but thank you guys as always. Memo, add on whatever you like.
Uh, we kind of covered it all. Just thank you all for watching. We'll see you all next week. Goodbye.